tapped out this week. I didn't have very much stuff to do.
Well, Thru said that I look like a small child sitting next to you. I was like, oh, yeah.
And he's not the only one. I sent it to a couple of group chats, and they said, Mario, it's so great that you can have your son talk football with you.
So I've been riding the Baker Mayfield train for over a year now, right? I mean, you know me, right?
And you've been riding that for. Is there like a 500-foot restraining order?
Yeah, maybe by now. So I've been high on the Baker Mayfield to Buffalo thing for a long time, and again, I think it's about perspective. You look at the issues that people complain about with him. I think it's about perspective, and I'm willing to accept the fact that any walk-on who can make a team like Texas Tech, that's a kid that trusts himself to say, I know that I have talent, and he walked out to Texas Tech before he transferred to Oklahoma. Like that is a huge football program. And to be able to walk on and make the team at the quarterback position,
it's not easy.
It's not an easy task. So, obviously kudos to him for that. But that's a kid that trusts himself and is going to carry that mentality with him. Like, I know I'm here for a reason. I know I can do it. His sole purpose was to go down and show people that he was better than Josh Allen, and he did that, right? All reports are out of camp. Baker Mayfield was clearly the best quarterback at the Senior Bowl, which to me is no surprise. I think he's the best quarterback in college football. I said he was going to be the best quarterback in college football over a year ago. So this is no surprise to me. But he went down there to show people that he can interview, that he's not a punk, that he can handle media, like in-your-face media, because you're walking into a firestorm by going down to the Senior Bowl.
Yes.
So he wanted to show people that he could handle the pressure, show up on no notice. He learned that offense in 3 days. He
got there late. Yeah,
he got there late because he had a family issue, is dealing with a medical issue with his mom. They emailed him the playbook, and then he learned the playbook. He looked at it right beforehand, got the playbook when he got down there, and still looked like the best quarterback at the Senior Bowl. So his intent was not to go down there and play in the game to prove he was better. I think had he gone there and he had not practiced well, he would play in the game. But he went down there and clearly was the best quarterback at the Senior Bowl.
Well, he followed a pattern that he's been following. Like you said, he was a walk-on. He's followed the pattern that he's followed his entire career up until this point, where I have to prove myself to be here. Okay, The first hurdle was proving that I could play at the college level, and he did that. Box checked. I need to prove to people that I'm not this, this guy that people perceive me to be, even though perception is reality a lot of times in the NFL when it comes to quarterbacks or any type of position, actually. I got to prove that. Box checked. I need to prove. Everyone says, what, Josh Allen? What? No, I'm the best quarterback. I'm going to show you what. Box check. As far as the Senior Bowl and the practices go there. But when you look at it, I'm a big proponent of things you can't coach. Unfortunately for Josh Allen, 6'5", 240, he can throw the ball 80 yards. You can't coach that.
He was clocked at almost 67 miles an hour. That is a cannon.
That's ridiculous to throw a football that fast.
That's a cannon.
So the thing that goes along with Mayfield is he's they've said he's the alpha dog there. He's taking control. He's running to all the things first. He's leading people. He's shaking hands with the receivers after everything. He's proven you can't. Leadership's not on the shelf at Walmart. I'm sorry, you can't just say, hey, this guy's going to be a leader. He'll develop into be a leader. No. You either have that or you don't. In my eyes, you're either a leader or you're not. So as far as that goes, that's what he does. And the thing about it that separates him from Allen is he is going to continue to have that mindset of, I have to prove people wrong. I have to keep proving people wrong. And that will carry over into the NFL. The thing with Allen was he came in from a similar boat. He wasn't recruited by anybody. So he went to a junior college and he went to Wyoming, and
Not exactly a football powerhouse.
No, not by any means. But the thing was, they said, "What do you?" He was interviewed one time saying, "I want to prove I don't like anybody that didn't recruit me. I want to prove everybody wrong. I just want to tear through everybody. I don't like you. I don't like your school. You didn't recruit me. Blah blah blah." Well, you could say to a small degree that will carry over to NFL, but if you're drafted number 1, who do you have to prove wrong?
Yeah.
You're like, he came into college where nobody wanted him. Now you're the number 1 overall pick. That's a flip right there.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's an interesting point.
So that's the thing. I don't know if that mentality will carry over. And I guess the fact that it's Cleveland, because he's a country farm boy. You know what I mean? A lot of those guys that we see, he grew up in California on a 3,000 acre farm, and now he's in Laramie. Like, if he was going to the Jets, I'd be terrified if I was the Jets, because that's a totally different animal than anybody as far as a media circus. Because being a quarterback, you have to not only deal with things on the field, personalities on the field, the offense, everything you have to deal with. You got to deal with the off-field stuff too. And off-the-field stuff, I mean, you're only playing 60 minutes on Sundays.
Right.
So everything else is off-the-field stuff. So I don't know, even though he has all of the box checked for a mold of a quarterback that you need, I don't know if he's going to be the type of guy to transfer over into the NFL and be this like number 1 overall pick that everyone says. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. I don't think he's going to be as good as Baker Mayfield in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, I second that. I can't disagree with that. The one thing that I can tell you flat out, and I will be shocked if I have to eat my words, but you know me. If I say something, I'm gonna own it. There is absolutely no way that Sam Darnold is the best quarterback in this draft, in my opinion. No way. Not at NFL speed. You can't do it. And you could say, oh well, guys, they complained about Phillip Rivers' release, and they complained about Aaron Rodgers' release. There's a big difference between arm angle and release point, and it taking a sundial to measure how long it takes Sam Darnold to get rid of a football. It takes him so long. Even if he's got the fastest eyes in the draft, he can read coverage, he can see the holes. That half a second makes a monstrous difference inside the NFL. Not only that, but defensive ends inside the NFL, they're not coming just to hit you. They're looking to strip that ball. They are conditioned to make and embarrass you, right? To make you look like a fool. And as loopy as that throwing motion is, because I grew up as a baseball player, man. Like, you can get away with that as a pitcher. You can have any motion you want. That doesn't matter. It's part of deception. You're not deceiving anybody on a football field. It does not play into it at all. So even if Darnold has the fastest eyes, the best arm, which he doesn't, but let's just, argument's sake, let's say Darnold checks all the boxes like Allen. I can't take Darnold over Allen. If you're comparing the two, I wouldn't be able to take Darnold over Allen.
Now,
I couldn't do it.
His loop isn't as exaggerated as Tebow.
No, it is not.
That. But it is a loop. And, you talk about, the other guys you talked about, they keep their hand on the ball. And it's out.
Yep.
Rodgers has a little tap, but if you've ever seen highlights of him, how fast that ball comes out and where it goes, it's pinpoint accurate. As far as Darnold goes, and even in the confusion, everything that's going on in the play, cornerbacks can see you break your hands in the back. And if he has to bring that ball down and come up, what does that say about him throwing on the run? Because you're going to have to throw on the run in this league. Yep. What is that going to say about him making a second read? Because if you make your first read and you start to separate that ball and come down, and it's not there, and you have to readjust, that's why, when you separate, you have to separate up here. If you go down and you got to reset, you got to go down again. Like you said, defensive ends, they're taught to get the ball. So as far as Darnold goes, I don't like that. The guy that has the classic throwing motion and who is I'm starting to really take a liking to is Rosen. For some reason, I'm liking the kid. He doesn't have everything that the other guys do, but he has the classic throwing motion.
Yeah.
And it's not incredibly fast. It's not, he reminds me of, he's got a better arm than him, but Chad Pennington.
Okay.
Okay, so he's got that. He's got the head. He's got everything in front of him. He knows where the guy's going to be open, and he's able to get the ball out. The question about him will be speed. Can you get the ball there faster? That's going to be the only thing with him, and that's the thing that Allen has that you can't coach. He can get the ball there incredibly fast. Even if he makes the read late, Allen can get there. Rosen has to make that read on time, or else it's pick six. So that's for the big four. I mean, you kind of brainwashed me to the Baker Mayfield train, but
it's a good train to be on, man. It's a good train to be on.
In all honesty, I'm not a big fan of all four of these guys. Like I can see holes in all of their games.
Sure.
Saying about the greatest draft class of all time, or since 04, 83, or anything like that. But I think it's just volume. There's so many.